Hey, what's going on? Well, I'm gonna wait on John to get dressed over here.
Well, I wasn't ready.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Brad, and with me, as always, is John, and this is Race Car Spelled Backwards, Gen 2, Episode 96. John, what's going on, man?
So,
Here we are again, except this week we don't have the great, exciting race that we had after Darlington to talk about.
yeah, no, not at all.
I don't know if anybody I know not everybody that watches this has ever done a podcast, but I know the majority of the people who do watch this show have watched other NASCAR podcasts. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but on weeks when the racing sucks, the shows tend to be shorter, and well, the stuff they talk about,
It's not a lot of racing.
yeah, you don't have a lot of racing stuff. It makes it really hard.
Yeah, the weeks where we don't have anything to talk about makes it really put in the work.
Yeah, I need NASCAR to put in this kind of work.
Yeah, right.
You know, if
Don't
NASCAR,
make us do it.
Yeah, if NASCAR put in as much effort as we put in each week, maybe their product would be better. That's all I'm saying.
Doubtful. They'd find a way to screw that up.
Well, I mean, they worked real hard with Goodyear this weekend.
Yeah, I mean they
just ruined all my hopes and dreams when it came to racing. I had
such high hopes for the tire.
Yeah, and I don't know. Was their expectations too high?
Maybe, but I kind of feel like they kind of overhyped it. Well, I mean, they were kind of hyping it up a lot. Don't you feel like?
Yeah, I do.
I feel like it was hyped up quite a bit. Like, guys, we've got this new all great tire, this new soft tire we're doing for the All-Star race. It's the same tire compound as the wet tires that we ran at Richmond for the first 20 laps. Remember how good that was? Yeah, we're going to have that. And then it was nothing like that at all.
I feel like my expectations were warranted. Like, I had every right to have high hopes of this race and this tire because of the last 2 weeks of build-up with NASCAR talking about the Optimus Prime tire and, you know, all this crazy tire lingo that I've never heard of.
Right. And then it never happened. I mean, you had small, short glimpses of it. Like Kyle Larson, he jumped up 4 spots, and then that died out. And, yeah, they went 3 wide a couple of times, but
that died out.
It's like a bunch of stuff almost happened, but nothing ever actually, fully played out all the way.
I do want to give a shout out to Designs by Sydney. She has some very cool hand-drawn minimalist stickers of the NASCAR drivers. If you haven't checked her work out, definitely make sure you go over to her website, give her a check. Sydney also does custom stickers, shirts, logos, ads, and, pretty much anything else you would expect a phenomenal graphic designer to do, she can do it. So Make sure you head over to designsbysydney.com. She'll take care of all your personal and your business needs. And I'm pretty sure, John, there's some talks going on between us and Sydney about doing a combined bracket challenge later on in the season, similar to what Denny does.
Oh,
and
okay.
That runs for all 3 series, but we'll just say that'll be coming to you. It won't start till the final race in the truck season. Regular season race, it won't start till after that. So I just say if you follow us and you follow Sydney, stay tuned because a lot of great news is going to be coming out about that here pretty soon.
All right. Sounds cool.
So let's jump into racing hot takes, John. Was North Wilkesboro a good race?
The Cup race? No.
I forgot who won, but I would say Ricky won since he landed the first punch.
Yeah. I
voted
agree with that.
I voted no. I mean, so like we were saying,
Hey, Ricky ran a great one lap.
he did. I mean, he's most popular driver of the race.
Yeah, that's for sure.
After lap 100, the only reason people continued watching the race
See what Ricky was going to do.
to see what Ricky was going to do. I mean, I was watching like, all right, can we get through this race? Come on.
Yeah.
I'm ready to see what Ricky's going to do.
I mean, parks in Kyle's pit box, goes up to his spotter stand or whatever, the crew chief.
He climbs up on the pit box.
Yeah.
He told the crew chief too, I'm going to have a conversation with Kyle when this is over.
Yeah.
I mean, he had pre-warned them. He's like, y'all get ready. And I guess they weren't ready.
No, I guess not, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, so for me, the whole race, it started off great. The storyline, these new tires, you had the option tire, the Primus tire.
The Optimus Primus timer.
Yeah, the Optimus Primus tires. You couldn't combine them, so you never had an Optimus Primus. But
Yeah.
I don't know why we didn't just go with hard tire, soft tire. I mean, this ain't F1, dude. Like, just keep the lingo simple. We don't need to overcomplicate things.
Yeah.
But I'd say the first 100 laps, let's say the first 70 laps, lap 1 through 70, I was intrigued.
Right. You're waiting to see what's going to happen. Like,
yeah.
When are these tires going to start falling off? When are people going to start passing?
You know it's coming.
Well,
or you think.
You thought it was coming.
You know it's coming. And then Joey Logano catches Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace is trying to hang on the lead lap. I get that. But if you're at the tail end of the lead lap, 9 times out of 10, it's because you're slower than the leader.
Right.
So when the guy dominating the race catches the last lap car
and can't pass
30 laps, he could not pass him. Bubba Wallace stayed on the lead lap.
Yeah, he finished that stage or whatever you want to call it on the lead lap.
And I'm not saying anything negative about Bubba. I mean, this has nothing to do with Bubba and Bubba's driving skills. This has everything to do with the car.
Yeah, obviously Bubba was fast. I mean, probably not faster than Joey if you just go. If you go off, it's like just pure time. If they both went out on the track and ran it qualifying, but still, Joey wasn't fast enough to pass him.
No, not at all. And it was at that point in the race where I knew the tire experiment had failed.
Yeah.
So lap 100, the first 100 laps. Well, no, like I said, the first 70 laps of this race were good. And after that, the next 130 laps, it's like we knew
it wasn't going to be the race we hoped it would have been.
And everybody went with the same tires. I mean, so you had everybody doing the same speed. I mean, these tires, man, they didn't live up to what they were supposed to live up to. And if what Denny Hamlin says is true, this is as soft as they can go with the tire.
Yeah.
I mean, that tells me it's probably not the tire. But
yeah,
I don't know. Jeff Gluck, was it a good race poll? 63% of you said no, it was not a good race. 37% said yes. So I was wrong earlier. 37% said yes, so you were off.
I was off by 1.
Yeah, John, yesterday while cutting grass, John decided that he thought it was going to come out to 36%, and it came out to 37. So
that was pretty close.
Yeah, well, I'll let you start guessing on the show before I tell you. So starting next week, I'll ask you what your guess is, and we'll see how close you get.
Yeah.
I would guess, but that defeats the purpose.
I was about to say you gotta put it down.
Yeah, I gotta write it down so it ruins it.
Yeah, you were like, I guess it was like
I'm gonna go with 37% yes this week.
Yeah, you're gonna get that win by default.
Well, Jeff Gluck said it was gonna be 35.
Yeah, and Jordan said like 42.
Yeah, Jordan, Mr. Baggage Claim Advertising Bianchi said it was gonna be 42%. So he was wrong. Jeff wins again. Jeff's actually absolutely killing him this year in the picks.
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
I thought 37 was a little high.
I did too. I was really hoping it would be 18. I was hoping we'd have Texas style numbers.
Oh.
We need it. Like NASCAR, we have to send a message. Honestly, I don't even think we need the All-Star race, to be honest with you.
No.
I say we get rid of it and just next year. I mean, next year we've already announced we're going to Phoenix and we're going to the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro again. So two races that aren't any good, that the fans absolutely don't enjoy watching on TV. We're definitely going to do again next year. Don't worry.
Yeah. Like,
That's just how we roll.
Absolutely. Those are the two races we're most excited for next year.
It is. I would honestly say let's skip the rest of this season. Just go ahead and run the championship at Phoenix. Then let's just run all the races at Phoenix next year.
You know what?
Except for the All-Star races.
You know what? I've been trying to get some more sleep here recently, so I think the more races we run at North Wilkesboro, the more sleep I can get.
Yeah, between there and Phoenix, which absolutely sucks. Like, North Wilkesboro is a phenomenal
I know, we've been there.
venue.
I'm interested to go there now that they've completely redone it. Because, I mean, we went there back when
Porta Johns and food trucks were your only option.
Yeah, but man, was that cool. And so
I don't think it would be as cool now as it was then. I think
when we went straight back to the 90s.
Yeah, and that was what made it that event. And we had the Cars Tour. So,
yeah, we had the better racing.
Yeah, like maybe I would be willing to go. I mean, the Cars Tour runs their season finale. So if we don't end up going to the World of Outlaws Championship, maybe we'll go to the Cars Tour Championship race.
Yeah.
I mean, it is at Wilkesboro, and they put on a heck of – I don't know with the new concrete. I mean, the new pave job on there, but I would think.
I mean, the trucks ran great.
Oh, the trucks were phenomenal.
The trucks were awesome. Yeah, that was such a good race.
Well, we're going to talk about all that. So, Joey Logano leads 199 of 200 laps at North Wilkesboro in the All-Star race to win $1 million. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't care. I could care less. Like,
I don't think anybody cares that Joey Logano. I mean, it's the most uneventful win. Nobody's talking about it today.
No.
Nobody talked about it. Nobody talked about it Sunday night after he won.
No. Literally, nobody cares.
None of the media followed Joey Logano after the race. Like,
I wonder how that felt being Joey. Like,
normal. I think for him, that's just normal. Like, he's used to it. He's just, sliced bread. They used to call him sliced bread. Like,
right.
He's as boring as sliced bread. White bread at that.
Yeah.
He's not even wheat.
But I mean,
plain Jane Joey.
You win a race and nobody's there. Like, oh, okay.
Well, I mean, so Joey gets out of the car and he's
like, guys, I've ran 800 laps here.
Yeah. So,
I ran 3 of these races.
So, I mean, that's 4 of them, actually. It's 200 lap. Come on now. You can't let my math be better than your math.
Sorry.
You're college educated. I am too, but I'm dyslexic, so that gives you the upper hand.
You have your degree.
I do have a degree.
I don't, so you're ahead of me still.
So that means okay.
Yeah, that's how you got it right, and I didn't.
That's it. I know 200 times 4 is 800.
Yeah.
Genius here. Genius. I need a raise.
Yep.
So Joey Logano runs 800 laps of practice here, basically, trying to find the right tire. I don't think all 800 laps were on this current tire here, but I do think they learned enough to give them a slight advantage. You know, I heard on, I think it was DBC, they were talking about how the tire test didn't make that big of a difference. It was all about pole position. Where'd Joey start at?
First.
So I think that tire test made a big difference there, Mr. DBC's.
How do you think he got such a good pole run?
Yeah, he knew. I mean, his crew chief's not stupid.
Right.
These guys are geniuses. So they went out there. They at least got 200 laps on the soft tire, or at least 100 on the tire they ran, because they knew they could run 100 laps on that tire. They wouldn't have known that without running 100 laps on the tire.
Yeah, so they knew that the soft tire wasn't going to do anything, and so they kept their mouth shut and won the race.
Well, so NASCAR and Goodyear show up with this magical softer tire this weekend, and it turned out to be a failure of epic proportions.
Yeah.
I mean, this tire definitely did not do what I expected it to do.
Mm-mm. I was hoping for first 20 laps of Richmond, Bristol. I don't think I was quite expecting what we saw at Bristol, but somewhere in that area at least.
I wasn't expecting what we saw at Bristol, but I was expecting fall off.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting the tires to even out. So, like, it's like they put soft compound on top of the old hard tire.
It's probably what it is.
So it wore off after 20 laps, which honestly, it didn't seem to make that big of a difference anyway.
No, because I think what Denny said was that the softer tires were like 0.02 of a second faster.
Something like that. It was very minimal.
Right. And it's
after,
not enough to pass.
Yeah,
it's still not enough to pass.
After 20 laps, I mean, we saw Kyle Larson the last 50 laps.
He pits, gets fresh tires. He has 50 lap fresher tires and this new soft tire. And he comes back out and they restart and he gains like 4 positions. And you're like, all right, here we go.
But if you watch, Chase Elliott had 4 fresh tires too and did nothing. Kyle Larson's just a wheel man.
Yeah.
Like we talked about last week, do we think he's the best ever? Well, I mean, he wins or wrecks usually, but he might not be the best ever, but he's up. Good. He's definitely up there in the conversation because he shot through gaps and holes that weren't there.
Right.
Sunday night.
And that, watching the race, when I was watching the race, we watch him pit. He gets 4 fresh tires, and we're like, and then he jumps up 4 spots in like a lap, 2 laps.
Yeah, I thought it was on.
And you're like, all right, this is
good.
Larson's time now. Like this is about to be Larson's race. And then after like 8 laps, he just stops. Nothing happens.
Yeah, I think it was more than 8. I think it was like 9. No, I mean, I'd say 10 laps, within 10 to 20 laps maybe. But when he got up to Denny, and Denny was second, he couldn't pass Denny. And then Larson got passed by Reddick, I think.
I don't remember.
I can't remember who finished third, but that guy passed Larson to take third away at the end of the race.
Yeah.
So obviously, those tires weren't what they were built to be. Like we were between practice on Friday, the last 2 weeks of Denny, DBC, Dale Jr. Everybody's been talking this tire up.
Right.
You know, this is going to be the greatest thing to happen to NASCAR since the fight at Daytona. I mean, you know, it's supposed to be this big thing, and
it just wasn't.
No, it was nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
it looked like the only difference between the 2 tires was the red and the green color.
On the teardown, those guys, they were talking about how this is a good step in the right direction. I don't think so.
No, what direction? What do you mean good step in the right direction? I mean
that they changed the color of the tire?
Yeah, like okay, it made the smallest, slightest, itty bitty, tiniest improvement. So small, tiny that we couldn't even tell.
You couldn't tell.
And that's what we're claiming is a step in the right direction. I mean,
like, what's our expectations at this point? Are they that low?
You know, I don't. Maybe Jordan is getting too much fresh air or something, because last week he was praising Phoenix for their baggage claim advertising. This week he's saying we're heading in the right direction with this tire. Then you hear Denny and DBC talk about it, and they're like, no, God, this was horrible.
Yeah.
And I personally thought it was a horrible race. Like I said, the first 100 laps, you know, Clint and the guys in the booth on Fox did a good job of building up something.
Right.
But that something never came. Happened. And then they went and got another set of tires. And it's like, if it didn't happen with the first set,
it's not going to happen with the second time either.
And it didn't.
No.
So it really just, in my opinion, it was a failure of epic proportions. Like,
yeah. And look here, guys at the teardown, you know, Jordan and Jeff. Yeah, if you still think the tires are the right way to go, here's an idea. We'll just take some razor blades and we'll scuff up the tires before the race.
Yeah.
And then
they're bound to fall apart.
Yeah. So, well, I think they should just have one guy just go through everyone's tires and poke random holes and see what happens.
Well, that's bleeding tires. That happens. They get in a lot of trouble for that. No, I see what Jordan. So I'll be honest. When Jordan and Jeff said that, I was like, you know what? Maybe they're on to something. You know, maybe we're going to take small steps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but then after I listened to Denny, and Denny's like, I've been told, guys, this is the softest that Goodyear can make the tire. If that's the case, and it's the softest they can make the tire,
then
there's no more improvements we can do.
And let's say they manage to make it just a little bit softer. What's that going to do?
Obviously nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to have to be so soft, they're not going to last.
Right.
Like, not going to last off pit road.
Right. Like,
now, granted, I'll say the track temperature at night, they said the tires looked a little better during the daytime testing when the tracks were hotter. So maybe maybe we can't race at night anymore. We're changing all this for the car. It's the car. Like, the elephant in the room is the car sucks. Like, I don't know how else to say it. I don't know how to be politically correct about it. I'm just being straight up. This car is garbage. We need to take this car, light it on fire, push it over a cliff, and turn around and walk away. There is no reason we should ever run another race. We could cancel the rest of the season. Just cancel the season. This car is god awful. It's horrible, people.
You bring up a great point saying we're changing all this for the car, because tires, aero, horsepower, none of this was a conversation.
Ever.
No. Like, racing at night, short tracks.
That's what I mean. I'm to the point where I'm ready just to quit going to short tracks. If this is the car we're stuck with, let's stop. Let's get rid of Bristol. Let's get rid of Richmond. Let's get rid of North Wilkesboro. Let's get rid of Martinsville. Heck, let's get rid of Darlington, Dover, Iowa. I mean, anywhere that's under 1.5 miles. Nashville will make an exception because it's like 1.4. Yeah. But that's it. Anything smaller than Nashville Super Speedway,
just not
scrap it. And honestly, anything larger than Atlanta, scrap it. And anything that goes left and right, scrap it.
And just run intermediates.
That's it.
Because that's the only track this car's good at.
I'll get my short track fix in by watching Flow Racing. That's what it's just.
That's where. What do you mean? That's where we are getting our short track fix from.
That's true. I had such high hopes this tire was going to make a difference,
and it didn't.
And because of that, I give up.
It's just so defeating.
Obviously, NASCAR's not going to change this car any. It is what it is. We're not getting a new car. We're stuck with what we got. What are we going to do? We're going to keep throwing tires at it. That's not going to work.
We just proved that.
So the only option in my mind is just to quit going to places the car sucks. Look, Dale Jr. can take the cars toward Bristol. He can take the cars toward the cars tour does go to Martinsville, I think. I know the late model stocks run a big race at Martinsville. So, look, let's just put the cars tour on all the short tracks and get rid of them in the Cup Series. We got Xfinity and truck. The truck race at
North Wilkesboro
was great.
It was phenomenal. They were running 2-3 lanes, passing. Corey Heim.
4 wide, 3 wide, 2 wide.
Corey Heim dominated that race.
And they weren't wrecking, really.
No.
It wasn't your typical
truck race.
Crash everybody. It was good, hard racing. It was what the sport was built on.
Yeah.
Our minor league series is better than our
way better.
So we got great minor league racing and great major league crap. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
It's just.
And then there's Xfinity.
But then this weekend we got Charlotte, Coke 600, and we're all going to be praising how great of a race it was next week. I hope. Hopefully. I'm sure we will. Charlotte, the Coke 600 has been really, really good the last few years.
Yeah.
This new car actually puts on a good race. But either way, the Coke 600 is usually a good race anyway because of the endurance aspect. So
yeah. So we'll see. You dropped it.
I want to give a shout out to these guys right here. Driven. So they make sunglasses, if you don't know. John's got a pair. I've got a couple pair. I actually bought a pair and had some issues with them. These guys turned around, sent me a brand new pair. This is what was cool. It wasn't cool that they stood behind their product. To me, what was cool was it's like 9 o'clock at night, and I'm getting responses from somebody who actually works here, not a customer service company, but an actual employee is responding to me apologizing for the issue. Like, and we've went back and forth many times since then. Like, I've told them thank you. Like, I'm blown away. Great customer service. So if you're in the market for a new pair of sunglasses, check out these Driven shades. They're really cool. I like them. They're comfortable.
I love them.
Yeah, John.
They're a lot. I think the biggest difference that I noticed immediately when picking them up is that they're a lot lighter than most sunglasses.
Yeah, they're way lighter than Oakley's. So it's almost like you don't even have anything on.
Yeah, I mean, they're phenomenal.
But the look is great. Like when you're looking through them, what you see, it's a great vision. So
yeah,
if you need a pair of sunglasses, Driven, make sure you check them out. They make quality sunglasses, and they have amazing customer service. Like,
yeah.
We don't promote companies on here unless they have great customer service. And you got Designs by Sydney, phenomenal customer service. Driven, phenomenal customer service. And they also sponsor Josh Berry. So you might want to check them out if you haven't already. So, John.
Yep. What do we got next?
The only other thing that happened during the race, Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Oh, yes.
On lap 1.
We're finally here.
Ricky goes hard into the middle. Kyle gets into the wall. Next turn, Kyle retaliates. Hooks Ricky. Or didn't hook him, but he bumped him. And Ricky just hooks a hard right, nosedives into the wall, ends his day.
Yep.
Do you think Ricky's at fault here or Kyle?
For on lap 1, when they go 3 wide, I don't think it's I think that's Kyle's fault. Kyle left the middle lane open, and if the lane's open, someone's gonna take it. And yeah, it's not shocking that it's Ricky.
Well,
but I think most anyone would have taken that shot, don't you think?
I do, and that's my whole thing here is I don't blame Ricky or Kyle here.
Now,
I do think Kyle left the middle open. I don't think that move was ever going to work, but it's no different than last week when William Byron and Ryan Blaney got into it,
right?
Because this new car pushes these drivers to make rash decisions like this. Like, you've only got a lap, maybe 1 to 2 laps to make a pass. We've seen that every week at a short track. Right. You got to get all you can get when you can get it, wide open, and go for it. And that's what Ricky did.
Yeah.
Now, that it was never going to work, but
you got to try.
Right? I mean,
technically it did work because he did gain position.
For one straightaway.
Yes.
Then it ended his night. Now, I think Kyle Busch reverted back to the Kyle Busch of like 2008.
Sure looks like it.
Pitched a temper tantrum.
But, we all know Kyle's not been very happy with racing recently. So.
That's what I was getting at. Like, I think it has more to do with Kyle overall. Like, this is not what Kyle Busch is used to dominating week in and week out.
And, he's still good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still think he's a good driver.
No, I don't think Kyle's lost anything as far as talent-wise goes, but I do think that his equipment is just not what it used to be.
It's not a Gibbs car or a Hendricks car.
Exactly. And he's not used to it.
Right.
Kyle started in Rick Hendricks cars.
Yeah. So
left there and went to Joe Gibbs, and now you're at Pop's team out in Welcome, North Carolina,
right,
riding on Austin Dillon's coattails.
Yeah. You're not.
Yeah, you're not getting quality.
No.
You're not getting the kind of quality you were getting. Obviously, HMS is the number 1 seed for Chevy. Number 2 is probably Trackhouse, in my opinion.
Oh, for Chevy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I would say number 3 is RCR.
Right.
RCR and Trackhouse are running neck and neck, but I think Trackhouse edges them out.
If you look at it, if you look at Kyle's teammates, he's doing pretty good.
Yeah, versus Austin Dillon, but that ain't saying a whole lot.
I know, but
that's like saying, "Oh, you're running better than Timmy Hill."
Yeah.
You should feel good about yourself. Well, not really. That means you're running 35th versus 36th.
But
how good is that going to make you feel at the end? I mean, that's the thing. Like, Kyle's just frustrated.
and we can see it from his interviews and all that. So
he really frustrated this morning with that asphalt up on him.
Oh yeah.
So as Kyle's rounding the corner to go to his hauler, there's old Ricky.
Oh my gosh, that is a legendary picture.
He's just posted up.
That is legendary.
Foot propped up, just arms crossed, just waiting on Kyle to show up.
He gave Kyle that I've been expecting you.
Been waiting on you 199 laps.
Yeah.
Oh, and he was hot too.
Oh yeah.
Like the beauty of North Wilkesboro is you can't get out of the infield. So when you wreck, you're stuck
there.
You're stuck until it's time to go.
So Ricky spent 198 laps
stuck
watching that race,
fuming because he's not in it.
Yeah.
And he wants to be out. He only got to run one lap. Yeah, it's not a points race, but it's $1 million, and Ricky could probably use $1 million right now.
Right.
So here he is sitting here fuming hot. He's texting his friends. They're firing him up. You know they are. Denny didn't say it, but you know that group chat. They were all.
Oh, yeah. They were like,
oh, yeah, you should do it.
Come on.
He goes to the media and tells them all, watch what I'm going to do after the race. I'm going to handle this.
Yeah. I mean, he goes up to the pit box. I mean.
He said he was going to do something.
And he did.
And he did. So him and Kyle are going back and forth talking, just jawing at each other. And honestly, it felt like Kyle was conceding.
Yeah, I mean.
He was done. Like he was like, all right, maybe I need to go look back at it. I felt like Kyle was getting ready to just put his hand on Ricky's shoulder and like, I'm sorry, man. I need to look at it, and then I'll make my opinion up. But I felt like Ricky knew. Like Kyle's about to apologize.
I know, Rick. You can see it if you watch the clip back. You see it on Ricky's face. He's standing there listening to Kyle, and he's not even really paying attention to what Kyle's saying.
No, not at all.
You can see it in his face. He's like, "All right, my window to punch this guy is closing real fast because if he apologizes, I can't punch him no more. I'm going to look like an idiot." So he's standing there as Kyle's kind of going, "Well," and he's like, all right, I got to do it. I said I was going to do it. I got to do it. And bang, just.
And I give Ricky credit. He said he was going to do it, and he did it.
Yep.
No, we're adults. I don't think you should be fighting at this age. It just hurts a lot more than it did when we were kids.
You should tell that to Ricky's dad.
When I was listening to Actions Detrimental, Denny Hamlin, yesterday, and your mom's like, she's like, oh, your dad would have been involved. I'm like, oh, my dad? Yeah. My dad would have been the first one to swing probably.
Yeah.
And I would have went up to Kyle to have a conversation with him. My dad would have probably come over my shoulder and popped Kyle on the lip. Like, so does it surprise me? Honestly, I don't think that your kids ever reach an age. So you'll never reach an age where I wouldn't defend you. So everybody wants your daddy to fight your battles. Look, my dad would probably still fight for me. You're 17.
Yeah.
I would fight for you in a heartbeat now. And when you're 37, if you need somebody to swing with you, I'm your guy.
Let's go do it.
So that's all I'm saying. Like, I don't think there ever comes an age where your kids don't mean enough to you that you won't take a punch for them.
Right.
So I don't fault Ricky's dad.
Although it was quite comical.
His explanation, like Ricky's like, get my dad. Someone get my dad.
Someone please go get my dad.
It was hilarious. And then Ricky's dad's like, I got my glasses on. What's that got to do with it? And I think that means I'm not going to get in a fight. I have my glasses on. Like, I think that's what he meant by that. But I'm laughing like, what is going on here? Like,
I mean,
Big Rick is in there, and he don't care.
No, it was.
He's probably going to get suspended for a couple races.
He did.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, I haven't seen the news yet, so.
I heard it somewhere. I think it might have been the teardown.
Yeah, they don't know yet. So penalties, they had the Hall of Fame induction today, or nomination released today, so NASCAR won't release penalties till tomorrow. Otherwise, I'd tell you all what the penalties were, but hopefully there's no penalties to the drivers. I personally don't think that Ricky's dad needs a penalty either, but if he does, I'm okay with that because Joey Logano's dad's been penalized like 4 or 5 times for fighting. Nick Sanchez's dad got into it last season, and he got suspended for 2 races. So I expect something, and I'm okay with that. But Ricky hit him.
Oh, yeah.
And that's rare. Most of these guys run their mouth and they go up and kind of push, and then NASCAR breaks them up. But here's my thing. I think that it should be a penalty to any crew member who jumps in the fight. I think NASCAR needs a security guy to be there. Like, there's always NASCAR security is always there now.
I mean,
They knew this was going to happen.
Yeah, did you see it when Kyle got out of his car? They had like 3 guys right there.
Yeah. But I don't think NASCAR security should be allowed to jump in for a minimum of 20 seconds.
Give them 20 seconds.
Let them fight, man. Like, you make it worse when everybody jumps in. It becomes a tussle.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, if I'm a media member or if I'm a crew member and I'm standing there and I get popped upside the head as an innocent bystander, I'm swinging back.
Right.
Like, it's going to be a reaction like, oops, I didn't mean to hit Kyle Busch in the lip. But he hit me in the side of the head.
Exactly.
Like, that's what happened to Big Rick.
Yeah.
Big Ricky got hit in the side of the head by Busch. Well, maybe like a paw, whatever Kyle does. And then he swung.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like, Kyle's a brawler. Kyle's been into many a fights.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think Joey busted his nose one time.
Gosh, I was on the on Denny's podcast. Denny's like, yeah, I'm a fighter.
Denny ain't no fighter.
No.
Ain't nobody ever seen Denny fight. Denny's a mouth runner.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
He starts a lot of fights.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see him finish one. That's all. I want to see Denny and Stenhouse do a charity match. How about that? Denny, if you want to prove you're a fighter, you go get in the ring with Stenhouse.
It'd be like those YouTuber boxing matches.
Well, Dale Jr. and them used to hang out with this rodeo dude. He was a rodeo star, and they'd all get in the boxing ring with him. And like TJ Majors is like, no, you don't want to do that. That ain't fun. Like, them rodeo guys are crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, I want to see Denny go at it.
Yeah.
Show me you're a fighter.
Come on, Denny.
I mean, I'll run for a few rounds with you. Whatever. I just want to see you fight, man. I'm not saying you're not. I'm just saying
We just want to see it.
if you claim to be a fighter,
Let's see it.
show us you're a fighter.
Yeah.
So this weekend, Denny, I expect you to get into a fight with somebody. Maybe Bob. You and Bob Pockers get into Jordan. His views lately have been a little skewed, so maybe he needs to fight with Denny.
Yeah.
You know, actually, I'm all for that. A Denny and Jordan Bianchi Dirty Mo Media showdown.
The Dirty Mo Media clash.
Let's do it. Dirty Mo Media can have a boxing match between Denny and Jordan Bianchi.
Oh, man.
I think it would be great. And then we'll know if Denny's really a fighter.
Yeah. So
I don't think Jordan is, but I do think Denny. I think Denny could probably hold his own.
probably.
So the truck race got flooded out by knee-deep water
That
on
was
pit road.
Crazy.
I've never seen
That-
nothing like that in my
That was
life.
insane.
Hey, did you see the one dude swimming in it?
Yeah, I was about to ask. You see the people swimming?
Well, I think it was Door Bumper Clear. They were talking about how the Porter Johns were right behind it, and the toilet paper was floating in the water out of the Porter Johns into where that guy was swimming at. So
He's probably got some disease.
yeah, he's probably got E. coli today.
But man, it was a clip.
I think maybe I think it's a sign. I think God's trying to tell NASCAR that he does not like their short package or their short track car.
Package. Their car.
We call it a package. It's the same car they run everywhere, but on a short track, the product's so bad, God's like, flood. Psh, here you go. Run now. Run it. I mean, I wanted to see them sprinkle tires.
Yeah, I know.
They were
right?
floating away. They couldn't even catch the sprinkle tires.
Yeah.
But congrats to Corey Haim. He won the truck race, like we were saying earlier. Truck race.
It's great. It was a great race.
I mean, I think Raja spun out, and then some other guy, I don't know his name, spun out. But really, there's a lot of beating and banging, like good, hard racing beating and banging, not
wrecking. Not
your typical Kyle Busch type of wrecking. But yeah, it was just a great race.
Yeah, you had a Butterbean.
Butterbean Queen.
Butterbean Queen finished fourth.
Check this out. He pulls into the track with Butterbean Queen on the side of his car. Everybody knows Butterbean.
Yeah.
Anybody that knows anything about late model racing knows Butterbean. NASCAR made him take it off.
What?
No nicknames, I guess. I don't really know. That can't be true because Kyle puts Rowdy on his car. But yeah, when he ran the race, it just said Queen.
Huh.
And then on the NASCAR results, it said Brandon Queen. Like, I know his name's Brandon just because I've watched enough late model races
Right.
on Flow to know that.
But everyone calls him Butterbean.
I've never said, "Oh, there goes Brandon Queen." It says, there's Butterbean. That's it.
Yeah.
Don't even say his last name, Butterbean. I mean, when I first heard it, I thought it was Butterbean McQueen, like Lightning McQueen.
Ciao.
Ka-chow, ka-chow. With the Butterbean.
I am Speed.
I am the Bean.
I am Bean.
Yeah, so, but
I am Queen Bean.
his very first truck race
finishes fourth.
Like, if that ain't talent, I don't know what is. Like,
yeah, we got a lot of great young talent.
And we got a lot of great young talent coming out of this Cars tour.
Yeah.
I don't know if that tells you anything. Like, I don't know if that says anything, but maybe the Cars tour is good.
Maybe. I think it is.
Maybe it's better than what we currently have on short tracks.
Absolutely.
We're not sponsored by Flow Racing in any way, shape, form, or fashion. They want to sponsor us. We're willing to talk to them, but it's worth it. Like, it's $150 subscription for the whole year. You get dirt tracks, you get asphalt tracks. I mean, you got the Cars tour. The Cars tour in itself should be worth $150 a year. But not only do you get the Cars tour, you get the Kubota High Limit Sprint tour.
Yeah.
You got the late model dirt track cars, Castrol dirt track cars. I mean, you got a lot that comes with that subscription. So,
and it's good racing.
Yeah. And if you don't like the current product that NASCAR's putting out, you need something to fill your time, right?
Exactly.
And that's what I feel mine with. So we talked about the bracket challenge that we're going to be starting come the end of this season.
Yep.
Well, Denny Hamlin is kicking off his bracket challenge on June 2nd this year. It's going to start. It'll open for you to make your picks on May 28th, and then we'll start hard at June 2nd. I did the bracket challenge last year with Denny. I mean, it's just cool. You know, it's just something else to follow. It's 5 races. We'll do one on the show. We'll probably both do our own, or we'll do one together. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But it's just cool to do. Like, I didn't win anything last year. I was out very early. But
I mean,
it's still fun. Like,
talk about being out early. NASCAR is starting theirs on Atlanta.
Oh yeah, next season it's starting at Atlanta. Like, so I'm glad Denny's coming back with it. I think Denny started this last year. It was great the way Denny did it. The top 32 in points, break it down and go all the way down to the last man standing in 5 races.
Yep.
Like I said, we're working with Sid, and we're going to try to put something together with her later this season. So if you enjoy what Denny's doing, make sure you check out what we do, because you're definitely going to enjoy that. And Denny's the one that started this whole thing.
Yeah.
NASCAR gave him 30-minute notice. Like,
yeah.
Steve Phelps called him and said, hey, we stole your idea and we're about to announce it.
I mean, luckily, he's okay with it.
But Denny said it last year when he did this.
Right. I mean, he was like,
I remember him saying it. I remember him saying that too. Like, he's like, I don't care if I get the credit for this or not. If it's good for the sport and it helps. And he said last year when they did it the whole time, like, NASCAR would reach out and ask him, how many people signed up? How's it going? So, I mean, Denny just cares about the sport. And I think that's cool.
Yeah.
That says a lot about Denny.
Feel like he should have been given some credit.
Yeah, I do too. Like, thank you, Denny. That's all. Just a tweet. Just a tweet.
Thanks, Denny.
Thank you, Denny. That's all.
That's all we need.
They don't even have to say what they're thankful for. Like, we'll know.
Yeah.
The fans will know.
But
and we'll be satisfied with that.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a good thing he doesn't care, or he definitely talk about it. But I do think the right thing to do would be to give him some credit for it.
We'll give him credit on the show.
Yeah.
What he say? He'll take his commission when he wins the $1 million.
Yeah.
The fact they're starting on Atlanta really makes that a hard one to pick.
Yeah.
It really makes it a hard one to pick. So,
but you know what?
Maybe we'll start ours on Atlanta this year. I have to talk to Sid. Maybe we can start ours on Atlanta this year.
It'll be then
you'll know how it's going to go next year.
Right.
It might actually help you make your bets for next year if we start ours on Atlanta.
No, you know what? I mean, Denny predicted his win. He called his win. He called his championship. If he wins the championship, I might pick him to win that bracket.
No, me too. That would be a three-peat.
Yeah,
I think, and if anybody can do it, might be Denny.
maybe. We'll see.
So let's talk Kyle Larson.
Oh man,
He goes out. Not only does he make the Fast 12, then he goes out and makes
Fast
the Fast 6. He qualifies fifth. He's going 330 plus miles an hour. Not 200.
Man, he is flying.
He used to see him. Well, maybe that's next. Top field drag.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
Yeah.
Why is he not going to? Why couldn't he be in a top field drag next year? Who knows?
Man.
No, 230 plus miles an hour. I mean, and they ask him about it. And he's like,
Whatever. It didn't
whatever.
feel that fast.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell. I thought we were running around under caution. He does make it look effortless too.
I know.
So I watched Indy 500 qualifying for the first time ever in history. Man, like, I'm so excited that we have Lee Diffie coming to NASCAR for the last 5 races of the season because he made qualifying sound amazing. Like, I'm working on our studio, just setting things up. And I got qualified playing in the background, and I couldn't stop watching. I'm like, this is legit good.
This is interesting.
I'm more
entertained.
I'm more excited about the Indy 500 than I am the Coke 600.
Yeah. And I don't think I've ever watched an Indy race.
You've never watched the Indy 500 with me?
I think I've watched some of the 500. I don't think I've ever watched the whole 500.
That's a good day. Like, so my nephew's having a birthday party this weekend, and his grandmother's putting it on. So she asked us what day's better, Saturday or Sunday. And I'm like, oh, I'm not doing after church Sunday. I'm watching the 500, then I'm watching the 600.
Yep.
And technically I'm coming home from church and I'm watching a replay of Monaco.
Yeah.
Then I'm watching the 500. Then I'm watching the 600. So, I mean, it's the 3 biggest races of the year, in my opinion, are Monaco, the Indy 500, and the Coke 600. I mean, it's the greatest day in motorsports.
Right.
You have all 3 on one day. I'm going to do the 3-peat this year. So, what you got on that, Kyle? But to have Kyle Larson be this competitive in Indy.
Right.
Already.
So cool. It is so cool.
He's relevant. He's not just running it to run it and finish last. Like, when Kurt Busch finished so well there, it was I was like, I wasn't even a Kurt Busch fan. And I'm like, yeah, that's my guy.
That's our guy.
Yeah, because
That's
it's our guy. He's
right. Larson's our guy. He's 2021 champion?
Yeah.
2021 champion. And
he's just representing our sport. Like,
right. Like this, like,
it don't
right
get
now,
no better.
Right now, Larson is NASCAR for us right now.
And he's running Helio Castroneves. These are the greats that have raced at Indy.
Right.
Andretti, Foyt, like, he's out there and he's doing something that, I'm sorry, not every one of our guys could do.
Yeah.
And not every driver could do. Like, Kyle what he's doing is pretty darn cool.
I know. I mean, you watch him, in those laps, he's like messing with stuff on the steering wheel. I got no idea what he's doing on the steering wheel.
Somebody was talking on Twitter. They're like, yeah, but nobody's mentioned the Allison brothers from 1970. I'm like,
Who?
bro, Donnie and Bobby, like, that was 14 years before I was born.
Yeah.
Like, mad respect to the Allisons, but it's different times back then. Like, there's legit 30-something cars in both series that could win each week.
Yeah.
And Kyle has a very good chance of winning one of these races.
Yes.
If not, like, could you imagine if Kyle won both? Like,
the headlines.
Yeah, I mean, he would be
the best driver in
ever.
the world right now.
I mean, they would have to put him in every Hall of Fame. He'd make the NFL Hall of Fame with that. It would be amazing. Like,
imagine like that kind of credentials. Like, I've won the Indy 500 and the Coke 600 on the same day.
Same day. no big deal.
That's how he would be.
Yeah, Kyle's like, it's not a big deal.
Whatever.
Like, what do you mean? I'm just Kyle.
Yeah, like we ran 2 good races.
Yeah, it was a good time. They had a good car. No big deal. I could do it again.
Yeah.
I was really tired that day. I think I could have run better.
Yeah. It's like, it didn't go quite how I wanted to, but we managed to pull through it at the end and grab the win. It was a good day.
I mean, everybody wants to compare him to Jimmy Johnson, and I kind of do too at times, but like Kyle he's just as humble as Jimmy. Like Kyle and Jimmy both seem like they'd be great people to be around.
Yeah.
Like we've seen Jimmy and how he responds to his fans personally. So I can imagine Larson's the same way, just by what I've seen of him. And I met Larson at the Coke 600 in 2022. Super nice guy, very approachable, very down to earth. Like, he's just a legit good person. So I've never been excited about a guy doing the double like I am Kyle.
No, yeah.
And like everybody's trying to hype up the headlines like, oh, President Trump's going to be at the Coke 600 and they're going to have to land the helicopter down the street and shuttle him over. He'll never make it. Yeah, he will.
Yeah, he's going to make
Trump
it.
will send his presidential army to go get him.
Yeah.
Whatever those guys are called. Not army.
The president. Yeah, that's... Ooh.
Not barricade. Whatever. With his car, He'll make sure he gets there. How about that? And then they're saying, well, if the weather's bad, he'll have to pick between the two. The weather doesn't look bad for either, so.
No.
And honestly, if he had to pick, I'd say go run the 500.
Yeah, go do Indy. You get to do the 600 next year.
I know under contract he is required to run it, so he wouldn't be able to make that call, but that's the call I would like to see him make.
Right.
But I know it won't happen. And if you're tired of hearing people talk about Kyle Larson, I'm sorry.
We're going to talk about Kyle Larson.
If he finishes good, it's good. I mean, regardless of where he finishes, we're going to be talking about him next week.
Oh, absolutely.
So Chase Briscoe went on Sirius XM radio and basically said he has no idea what's going on next year.
Which is crazy. It's crazy that those guys have no idea.
Like, I mean, I'm sure it's got to be coming soon. Stewart-Haas, whatever they're going to do, they can't keep these guys in limbo. They've got to let them know what's going on.
Right.
They got to go make other arrangements to feed their families next year. But Kevin Harvick took a dig during the Fox broadcast at Tony Stewart by saying that it's weird. He's seen the owner of the team twice in 1 week. Twice. Like, Tony.
Hello.
And it's not a good look for the sport.
No.
I don't know. I think Stewart-Haas is going away completely. Personally, that's my gut feeling that we won't have Stewart-Haas anymore. We'll have them in the Xfinity Series. They'll run it out of the F1 shop or something. But I don't see – look, Tony's first love now is drag racing.
Yeah.
I mean, Tony, he's driven every kind of car, but he's truly happy. And I love watching him in the NHR drag racing series. Like he's happy, and that's cool.
Right.
It's cool to see Tony that happy. So more power to you, Tony. If that's where you want to go, man, go. I don't really care what you do with your charter. I know that's 4 teams. That's a lot of employees who are going to lose their job. For that, I hate.
Yeah.
But in a series right now that's looking for good employees, like all you got to do is go on Twitter or social media somewhere, and all these race teams are looking for good employees constantly. So I do think most of these guys will bounce back pretty easily. Chase Briscoe, we'll see where he ends up at. I think he'll end up in the 21. Noah Gragson, Alex Bowman could get fired or something. And he could end up at Hendrick.
Alex Bowman is the worst Hendrick's car, so.
Be careful, Brandon gets sensitive about that. So he likes Bowman, so he don't like it when I point out that Alex is the worst Hendrick's driver. It's the obvious, but
yeah, call it how we see it.
I'll get a text later. He'll let me know what he thinks. But no, I mean, I could see that. I don't know. I think he's in a 2-year deal, so I don't know if next year's an option or what, but they'll all find a place. So
yeah.
That's really all I got. Next week we got the Coke 600. I did see the Coke 600 next season will be run on Amazon Prime.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I don't think that's a big deal.
No.
We're a house that streams a lot. So if you don't have the streaming service, I'm sure you will. If you don't think you'll be able to find it, I'm sure you will. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's as big a deal. I think it gives them instant credibility, though. It's like Daytona 500 marquee event, Coke 600 marquee event,
playoffs, all that stuff.
Yeah, so
everyone's got their own thing. Bracket challenge.
Yeah, I mean it sets them apart. I think it's cool. I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
But anything else?
No, that's it.
So this weekend we got the Coke 600. It's going to be at 6 p.m. on Fox. That is a 1.5 mile track, so should be a good race.
Should be.
I'm expecting it to be. Other than that, thanks to everybody who watches, listens. Make sure you share our show on social media. Tell all your friends about it. Follow us on X. We're at Car Backwards. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out all our videos. Check us out on Spotify. Follow us and make sure to rate us there. Subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts and leave us a review like Brandon did. When you leave us a review, it helps other people find the show. So we greatly appreciate the reviews that you do leave us. Give us a like and subscribe on YouTube Music as well. If you feel the need, you're more than welcome to email us. We're racecarbackwardspod@gmail.com. And make sure to check out designsbysydney.com and support her work as well. Other than that, y'all have a great week, and we will talk to you after the Coke 600. Thanks, everybody.